Guys, it is finally time for me to dive back into Throne of Glass and fill my whole reading experience, reading from Queen of Shadows to Kingdom of Ash and doing the tandem read. And if you're not familiar with Throne of Glass, which I would honestly be shocked if you're not, you might be more familiar with ACOTAR, honestly. That is Sarah J. Maas's most popular series. Although Throne of Glass is her first series, it's an 8-book fantasy series. I've already read the first 4 books in the series, and I have another video discussing my thoughts on those first 4 books, which I feel like I need to revisit because I feel like now that I've had time to marinate on the series, my opinion has changed a bit. Today, my plan is to curl up, get cozy, crack this baby open, and keep you guys updated along the way. I'm so pumped because so many people say that Queen of Shadows or Empire of Storms or Kingdom of Ash are their favorite books of the series. So I'm excited to see which one is my favorite because the first 4 books, while I do really like them and I did enjoy them, they definitely have not topped ACOTAR for me personally. And I'm hoping that one of these gives me the same feelings or even tops ACOTAR because that would be amazing. And I know I'm gonna be left with a huge book hangover at the end of the series. But regardless, I'm so looking forward to the journey and looking forward to taking you guys along with me. So let's jump into this world and I will keep you guys updated along the way. So I'm currently on page 44. I am totally obsessed. I am so invested in what's going on and I feel way more attached to the characters than I did in the first 4 books, which I still really enjoyed the first 4 books. But so far, I have a feeling that Queen of Shadows is gonna be a 5-star read. I don't know. I'm hoping it is. I'm home from work now and I have the rest of the evening to just cozy up and read. So that's what we're gonna do and I will check back in with you guys in a while. So it's actually been a few days since I have updated you guys and I have been invested in this book. Every night I get home from work and I'm done at the gym, I literally just sit on my couch and am consumed by this book. It is my favorite in the series so far, I think. I am currently on page 524. I did not end up updating you guys in between, so I'm gonna give you a pretty big update right now on my thoughts about this book so far. I do think it is the best for me in the series so far just because I feel the most attached to all of the characters. Also really like the politics and I am very invested in everything that's going on. I will say that there's not that much romance in this. So if you've read ACOTAR and you really liked ACOTAR because of the romantasy in it, but not so much the politics or the world building, then you might have a little bit tougher time getting into the series, but I really like it. And the found family is definitely developing even more in this book. There was a decent amount of found family, I feel like, in Crown of Midnight, but it really takes off in Queen of Shadows. Also, this is no spoilers, but Manon and her character arc, when I was first reading about Manon in Heir of Fire, I wasn't really invested in her storyline. I didn't really care about the chapters that were about her, but in this book, I'm so attached to her character. Her character arc is, I think, one of the most well done so far in the series, in my personal opinion. So that's making this even more enjoyable to read. Obviously, the main character is an incredible badass, sometimes a little bit irritating, but I'm really enjoying her in this book. I love all the character dynamics, I love the drama, I love the politics, I love the world building. As far as the writing itself goes, this book is a little bit less cheesy than definitely the first book, Throne of Glass. That one was definitely a little bit more cheesy. There was lots of exclamation marks. It felt very YA. This book feels a little bit less YA in my opinion, and I'm really enjoying it, and I think I'm gonna finish it today. That's my plan, is to finish it tonight. I have a little over 100 pages left, I think. Yeah, about 120 pages left in this book, and I'm so excited to finish it, let you guys know what I think, and then hop in to the tandem read, which I will walk you through my setup for the tandem read once we get there, and I will catch up with you guys when I finish Queen of Shadows. Ready to start the video? Junie and I are finally back to give you guys an update on how reading Queen of Shadows has gone. I'm officially done with it. And Junie, what did you think about it? I've been wondering why I have brain fog today, and it's literally because I haven't been drinking my water. I am rating this book. You know what? I'm gonna save my ratings for the end, but I will say that I really enjoyed this book. You know those times in your life where you're just looking to reading for a form of complete escapism, where you just open the book and it silences all of your other stressors and things that you have going on in your life? That's what this book felt like. It is my favorite so far in the series for sure. Manon,
who we meet in Air of Fire. And I didn't even really like her in Air of Fire. I was just kind of like, ugh, another chapter with Manon, like moving on. But now her character arc in this book, I love. I feel like it's so believable. I feel like sometimes with character arcs, like one thing will happen to them and then they'll shift their whole belief system and become a different person very quickly over like a span of days even. But I love how it is for Manon because you can see little things happening and little seeds being planted in her mind and how it's affecting her behavior, but she doesn't even fully realize it yet, and she's still making terrible decisions, but you can see the seeds that are being planted and things are shifting over a long period of time, and I feel like that's what makes it so believable. It makes me more invested in her character, and she just has more depth, and I just feel more connected to her now. Her dragon though, or Wyvern? I don't know how to say it, you know, fantasy names. So good. I want to watch a Queen of Shadows video recap because I feel like I need it explained to me, because I feel like I'm consuming these so rapidly because I'm so invested in it that I miss a lot of the foreshadowing, Easter eggs, and like little things that are alluding to other little things that I could be getting out of this book if I read it a little bit slower and thought about it a little bit harder. But because it does feel like escapism, I don't feel so inclined to do that. But I finished this and I posted a reel of me setting up for my tandem read on Instagram. Some of you did end up asking me what the heck a tandem read is, so let's get into it. But essentially, the tandem read that everybody is talking about on social media is where you read Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn together. There is basically a reading order. I don't know who made it, but we've all collectively been using this list. You can literally just Google like Throne of Glass tandem reading order list or something along those lines and it'll come up. I imported it into my notes app on my phone so I can check off each chapter as I go. But essentially, and I put in tabs to remind myself, hey, you need to switch books. Essentially, you'll read a few chapters of this and then a few chapters of this back to back to back, and you swap back and forth until you finish them both. The reason being that if you were to read this in chronological order, and I feel bad for the people who read it when it was released, you will end off on a huge cliffhanger in Empire of Storms and then have to go into Tower of Dawn and then follow the same exact timeline, but from a different character's perspective, so you won't get that resolution for this cliffhanger until the next book, from my understanding, which is just like a lot of reading and time to go through and pain to suffer through when you could just follow all of the characters through the same timeline, get left off on the cliffhanger, and then immediately go into the last book, which is what I'm doing because I have no patience. I am already on page 66 of Empire of Storms. I'm reading the first 5 chapters of this, and then a chapter of this, and then so on. I really like it so far. I'm already invested in the storyline. Obviously, I know all the characters. I'm in it. I'm here. I'm ready to go. Today is Friday. I've been sick the past couple days, and today I just want to cozy up tonight, and it's like 5 p.m. right now. I just want to cozy up tonight and read these books and hopefully get through them this weekend. I mean, that would be crazy if I read these in a weekend, but also what if I did? Would that be crazy? Would that be insane? Yeah, that would be really unhinged. I'm gonna get back to reading these, and I will follow up with you guys once I'm a little bit deeper into these books. Don't think I've had this much fun reading in a while, and it has honestly been a couple weeks. No, it's been like a week since I updated you guys last because I had some family in town, so I just didn't have a ton of time to read. But over this past weekend, I did get a good chunk of reading done, and honestly, this has been the most fun I've had reading for a while. And if you take anything from watching this video, it is that reading the first 4 or 5 books, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but getting to this point in the series, the tandem read and I'm assuming the last book too, make it so worth it. Not that the other books aren't good and that you won't have a good time, which I feel like when I went into this series, that's what everybody made it seem like it was gonna be a terrible time until you got to like the 4th book in the series, which felt like, why even read the series if you have to suffer through multiple books? But you don't suffer. Don't worry, you don't suffer. It's just not as amazing as it is later on in the series, if that makes sense. It is extremely hot in my apartment right now, and I cannot figure out why. So far, you can kind of see the progress I've made, but for Empire of Storms, I'm on page 175, And for Tower of Dawn, I'm currently on page 155. So when I first started reading these, I was favoring Empire of Storms way more, and every time I had to switch over to Tower of Dawn, I was kind of like, I'm not really certain. I was almost like, oh, do I want to do the tandem read? I just want to read Empire of Storms. Then I kept going, and now I'm actually really, really enjoying the storylines and the characters in Tower of Dawn. And I honestly don't understand the people that hate this book, because I'm having such a good time. I was enjoying it so much so that I've been using tabs to remind myself when it's time to switch to the other book, as well as a checklist. But I was having so much fun that I accidentally read ahead. I was so invested in the story. But now I'm back on track. But needless to say, both of these books are amazing. I feel like Empire of Storms definitely has a lot more action. It's a lot more fast paced. But this one, the character development in this and the mystery that's happening in here, I don't know. And you get a new character in this that I really enjoy and has really made the story 10 times more enjoyable. I mean, you get a lot of new characters in this, but there's one in particular that I really like. Now, each time I have to switch books, I'm excited to see what happens. You switch perspectives within each book too, so it doesn't really feel too much like you're jumping from book to book. It feels like almost one giant book, aside from the fact that you physically have to switch from book to book. It's also just gonna feel like such an accomplishment when I finish this hunk of pages. So my plan is to honestly update you guys one more time, like right before the end of this, or just at the end of when I finish the tandem read before I go into Kingdom of Ash. But I'm gonna go to the gym, it's Monday, I'm gonna go work out, and then I'm gonna come home and hopefully spend a good chunk of the night reading. So that's my plan for this evening. We're gonna get a good workout in and get a lot of pages read, which I'm excited for.
Finally, and as you can tell from my hairstyle, it's been quite a while since we caught up. I mean, it's been seconds, minutes at most for you, but it's been days, weeks for me. It has taken me so long to get through the tandem read. Yes, I did chop all my hair off impulsively like 4 days ago, and I actually really love it because most of it was crusty and dead from years of bleaching it. And on top of cutting my hair, I'm having like a full-blown outfit crisis, not outfit crisis, but style crisis. I mean, I'm using the word crisis very lightly because like it's clothes, chill. Every time the season changes, you're like, oh my God, I hate my closet. And I feel like also it's happening because I'm no longer in college, but I'm like an adult now. And so you don't wear the same clothes. And so you're like, what do I even wear? And I made the grave mistake of getting sucked into color analysis TikTok. So now I can't unsee colors that don't compliment me. And that's pretty much a bulk of what I own in my closet were colors that I wanted to look good on me because I liked them, but didn't necessarily look good on me. And that's why here I am wearing an oversized bulky shirt and I feel lost in all areas of colors and style. So hopefully you'll see that evolve on here as we continue to talk about books, because, you know, while we talk about books, I will be wearing clothes and hopefully they will get more increasingly stylish. Last night I sat down and I finished the last like 40 to 50 pages of both Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. And I'm sure you saw a few of my reactions in the last clip. But I want to talk about my thoughts and feelings and all the things regarding the tandem read, and also recommend if you guys should do it or not. I feel like a completely different person since starting this vlog, because I think I started this vlog end of December and it's taken me so long to get through Queen of Shadows and the tandem read just because I had a lot of stuff going on. And then the tandem read is just, I mean, look at that. It's such an accomplishment, honestly, to get through both of these books that are well over 600 pages each. Going into this, as I'm sure I mentioned, I was worried about this book because a lot of people do the tandem read because of the cliffhanger you get left on in this one, which, oh my gosh. Also, this is all spoiler free, so don't worry. The cliffhanger you get left on this one, and then you have to read this before you can start Kingdom of Ash. And a lot of people don't like the character that this one follows. I will say you get introduced to a lot of really cool characters in this book though. So I was worried going into it that I would only want to read this one and I would hate the parts where I had to switch over to read this one. The first few chapters, because I think you start with this one if I'm not mistaken. I will also link the tandem guide that I followed, and I created a little Notion template down below if you guys want to use that at all. You start with this one, and so I was kind of like, I don't really want to read about this character. Not that I hate him. I never hated him. Like, he definitely frustrated me, and I didn't love some of his choices, but I also was curious to see where his character arc was going to go, and I kind of love when annoying or unlikable characters have a really great character arc, and Sarah J. Maas is really good at doing that. Both of these books for me, like, I've barely had time to process this since last night, but I think these are honestly both 5-star reads for me, and I liked them for very different reasons. This book is definitely, and reading them together, it makes it way more palatable, I think, because I think if you were to read this one, which Empire of Storms, we'll talk about it first. Empire of Storms is super action-packed. Like, I felt that every chapter there was something crazy going on. I was on the edge of my seat. It was a page turner. There was just a lot of action and like battle scenes and things like that, moving the plot forward. And this also follows like our main character, although you do get multiple perspectives in each of these books. And then this book is a little bit slower paced. It's more world building, but you do get introduced to a couple of new characters in this book that you fall in love with. I also just like had a lot of fun with the setting in this book and the character arcs in this book, and then how things tie in to the characters in this book, and like how it all comes, like, it doesn't come together necessarily at the end because everything like kind of like comes together to fall apart, and then we're gonna be going into Kingdom of Ash. But both of them are really great stories. Like, separately they were so great, but I really liked being able to jump in between, and I found myself in between each one just kind of feeling like excited to switch to the other book. I didn't really, once I was in the middle of each of them, I didn't really have a preference to which one I was reading, which I was really concerned that I was going to strongly prefer Empire of Storms and not want to read this one, but I loved it. I honestly loved it. I ended up, although this character, the main character in this one, he still frustrates me sometimes, but I really love his character arc, and I love the other characters in this book. I loved like the mystery aspect of this one, and like it felt very like thriller almost. Well, this one felt more like politics, war, battle scenes. I also will say I love all of the relationships. Like, I love the found family in these books. I also love how there are so many relationships like blooming in these books. I think there are, wait, let me think. I think there are like 6 romantic relationships that are stirring or like blooming in some form. And so that really helps you, or at least it helped me like feel a sense of tension to want to keep reading, even if in some points this was a tiny bit slower. But overall, I think these were great. I feel like there was so much information that I'm actually gonna have to watch a YouTube video to like break down everything and like all the politics and stuff, because I was reading it pretty quickly and not necessarily like slowly absorbing everything. I give the tandem read 5 stars. I do recommend you do it because I think it's so fun, and although it does take a long time, the only con I think to doing the tandem read is that you will feel like you're not making any progress for a really long time, and that could potentially put you in a reading slump. But the books are so fun that I didn't mind it that much. I just felt a little bit of pressure because I wanted to like film this video and get this video out for you guys. But I think if you're just reading this for pleasure and you're not like on a timeline or a deadline, it's so fun, and it's like watching a TV series, to be honest. Like, that is the kind of anticipation you have when you're not reading it. It's kind of like, oh, you're waiting for the next episode of your favorite series to come out on TV. It's like that feeling. And I don't know, there's just like so many pieces and so many reveals at the end of this one. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? How is this all gonna come together in Kingdom of Ash? There's only one more book. I mean, given it is close to 1,000 pages, but like, how is this gonna come together in Kingdom of Ash? I do not know. I'm so scared that something terrible is gonna happen to Kingdom of Ash because I've seen so many people crying and like sobbing over it. I'm scared that something like actually devastating is gonna happen in Kingdom of Ash that I'm not gonna be able to recover from. I don't know. And then I'm gonna be done with Throne of Glass. Like, I can't fathom being done with Throne of Glass now. And like, in relation to ACOTAR we know has more books coming out. Throne of Glass is complete, done, finalized, and I feel like there's so many characters that I'm like, how are we gonna get their full story? Or like, I don't know, I just feel like, how is there gonna be enough time in Kingdom of Ash to like fully wrap everything up and like wrap everyone's relationships up and situations? It's just like, there's so many characters, and it's crazy because I never thought I would feel attached to so many different characters because there are a lot of characters. And if you are in the first like 2 to 3 books of the Throne of Glass series right now, like, keep going. It's so worth it. If you're gonna read anyway, you might as well read until you get here because you will be like, oh, okay, I freaking get it. Even once you get to Queen of Shadows, like that, I know a lot of people say Heir of Fire is where it takes off, but I really did enjoy Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire. Like, I had a really fun time. They weren't as like impactful, I'd say, as when I read ACOTAR. But once you get to Queen of Shadows and then the tandem read, it's like, feels like catnip, you know? Like, I just can't get enough of it. So with all that being said, I feel like this video is super, super long, and I want to give Kingdom of Ash the attention that it deserves. And I'm thinking of cutting this reading vlog off here and then doing a full other dedicated reading vlog, spoiler-free reading vlog to reading Kingdom of Ash. And then maybe after that, maybe I'll make a spoiler, like a chat of the full series with spoilers, like just to chat about it if anyone's interested in it, like has actually read the whole series. I think I'm gonna end this video here. I've had so much fun with these books. I highly, highly recommend you do the tandem read. And I'm gonna jump in and read Kingdom of Ash, and I'm gonna film that. So if you guys wanna see me reading Kingdom of Ash and my real raw reactions to reading it, then definitely don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like, because it definitely, as all the YouTubers say, helps the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy you guys are here. And I also would love to hear if you've read Throne of Glass, like, let me know what's your favorite book in the series. What did you think of the tandem read? Did you do the tandem read? Let's chat Throne of Glass in the comments. Hope to see you guys in my next video.